Hello, Live on Purpose family. Welcome. I'm coming at you live today. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Paul Jenkins. I'm a professional psychologist. And we're going to talk about parenting. There's a couple of reasons for that. I'm coming to you live on June 13th, 2023, because on June 15th, 2023, in 2 days, I will be doing a free live masterclass. You can sign up right here. drpauljenkins.com/masterparenting. The link's in the description as well. And I'll come back to that in just a minute. Now, why parenting? I am primarily a positivity psychologist. My focus is on personal and professional and family development coaching. I gave up my psychotherapy practice about 15 years ago. And unfortunately, psychotherapy sounds a little like therapy for psychos. And I say that's unfortunate because a lot of people miss out on the powerful principles of psychology that can make a huge difference in their life. Well, for that first 15 years of my career, I focused on children and adolescents and families. And that's what gave me all of the experience that I am going to share with you here today. I'm going to give you 4 elements of master parenting. All 4 elements have to be in place in order for you to master this most important job in the world. And then we'll get into more detail at that master class on Thursday. If you want to sign up, go to drpauljenkins.com/masterparenting. And you're in. It's free. We'll get into more detail. Now let's get to those 4 elements. Number 1 is to take care of yourself. Now, I shared with you I'm primarily a positivity psychologist. I work with people on personal development. And here's the thing. Parenting is the number 1 personal development program on the planet. What other program do you know of where there's auto-enrollment, you get multiple opportunities to practice, there's huge rewards, and some disappointments as well, depending on how things go? A lot of people who come into our personal development programs and the coaching that I offer come in first through parenting. Because think about it. You get frustrated, right? And then what? You end up yelling at your kids, which you promised yourself you wouldn't do. Do you remember when you thought, I'm going to be the kind of parent that handles things a little differently than maybe the way that I was exposed to as a child or the way I see other people doing it? But we all have frustrations that come from our expectations, and we end up showing up in ways that we're not proud of. Personal development is an essential component to mastering parenting. So no surprises there. And I spend a lot of my time helping people to get their own stuff in a pile. You know, to master the equipment and learn how to operate the equipment of your own mind properly. That's huge. We spend a lot of time on that in our personal development programs and in the coaching that we do. That's why it's the first element of master parenting. Take care of yourself. Now, we're live today, so I'm going to stay hydrated if that's okay with you. Here's element number 2. Take care of the team. Now, what is the team? If you're in a co-parenting relationship, if you're married, for example, your team is primarily that home core team of parents. If you're in a multi-household family, the team includes the other parent in the other household. Now, like it or not, you get to take care of that team. I spent 13 years of my career doing child custody evaluations for the court. I have seen some of the messiest stuff you can imagine. And when parents are in conflict with each other, it's really hard to come together to do co-parenting effectively for the kids. We're not going to get into all the details around how you manage some of those intricacies on today's call. But here's the thing. You've got a team. Now, what if you're a single parent? And my hat goes off to you if you are, because wow, what a job that is. If you're a single parent, you put together a team. And notice the one that you already have. Who are your support people? I'm on your team. You're here watching this today because I am on your team. I'm working for you. Take care of your team. Spend some time working on the structure and the support that gets to show up for you as a parent. I have to share with you, last week, Vicki and I, my wife and I, spent 4 days wrangling 4 grandkids. The oldest is 8, the youngest is 1. And we spent these 4 days with our grandkids so that our son and his wife could take off for a 10th anniversary outing. They went to New York City, saw a show on Broadway. Vicki and I are with the kids those 4 days. I tell you what, I remember why you have your kids when you're young. Because it's a lot of work. And that team that you put around yourself, like my son and his wife, for example, who knew that they could call us and enroll us to go spend some time with our grandkids while they got away to take care of their core team. So the team becomes a really, really important part of master parenting, and that's why I listed it as number 2. For those of you who are just jumping on, let me renew that invitation. We're getting into depth on all of this. On Thursday this week, it will be a live, free masterclass. I am doing this for you. We're going to spend about an hour. Go to drpauljenkins.com/masterparenting, and you can get into the room. Now, I've got 2 more points I want to share with you here this morning. And the next, so we've covered, just as a recap, take care of yourself. Take care of the team. Those are the first 2 important elements of mastering parenting, the most important job in the world. Now let me get to number 3. Love your kids. If you spend any time here at Live on Purpose TV, you have heard me say this time and time again. What is your job? Your main job as a parent? It's to love them, no matter what, and even if. Now, most parents come by this pretty naturally. Of course we love our kids. There are times when we don't necessarily feel very loving. That gets back to the frustrations and the reason why personal development is the first element, taking care of yourself. We love our kids, but here's the trap. And we all fall into it. I do, as a parent. We all fall into this from time to time. We think that our job is to make sure that they, whatever. I mean, fill in the blanks there. Make sure that they're safe. Okay, now that sounds so awesome on the surface. But here's the problem. You can't make sure that they're safe. That very, very tragically, years ago, our neighbor had an accident in their driveway where they backed over one of their children who died. Okay, now I don't say that to shock or alarm you. These things happen. These are good parents. And accidents sometimes happen. And Earth, by nature, is a risky place to live. So stuff's going to happen. It's not your job to make sure that they're safe. Yes, sure. Do everything that you can to increase the likelihood or the possibility that they're going to be safe. But you can't make sure that they're safe. What about making sure that they do their chores? Have you tried that one? How's that going for you? You know what? We really suck at this. We are really, really bad at making sure that our kids, whatever, make sure they do their homework. Make sure that they are respectful. Make sure that they obey. Make sure that they. This is crazy making. It will drive you nuts as a parent because you can't. And I'm not just saying you shouldn't. I'm saying you can't make sure that they. That is a recipe for failure. So we're going to put that aside. Now, don't worry. Number 4, when I share with you number 4, that's the one most of you came to hear, okay? And I'll get to that. But this one is so important. When we understand that our job is to love them, no matter what, and even if, we can always succeed. Now, what does that do to your feeling of confidence as a parent? This is important when we get into the logistics of number 4. Again, I'm coming back to that in just a minute. But just focus on this for a minute. Your job is to love them, no matter what, and even if. And we could play the even if game. Even if they fail, even if they get on drugs, even if they hate you, even if they leave the faith, even if they, even whatever. You play the game as long as you need to get to the point where, yeah, I'm good. I got my job. I'm going to love them no matter what, and even if. Okay, now let's get to number 4, because that's the one most of you probably showed up for this live stream to hear. Number 4 is about discipline. This is an essential element to mastering the art of parenting. Now, discipline does not mean that you control your kids. Now, I have to throw in a little caveat, because we have a model. In fact, I brought a little sneak preview for you of what we're going to be covering in depth on Thursday. And once again, that masterclass, DrPaulJenkins.com/master parenting. Get in the room if you want to really understand a model that is going to help you the most with that 4th element. I promise. Because as you see here, it's about control and maturity. It's about stage, not age. What that means is that we have to understand what stage of development our kids are in order to know how much control to take in the discipline. This is huge. And I see errors both ways. Parents sometimes take way too much control, or try to, and their kids describe them as control freaks. You know, I had this family in my office. There's a mom and her 13-year-old son. And she is just pulling her hair out because this kid is going off the rails in so many ways. He's failing at school, he's trying out drugs, he's hanging out with unsavory folks. And so she's explaining to me all this that's going on. Well, meanwhile, he's sitting over there in the corner of my office. He's got his hat on backwards. He's got this attitude, you know. And he didn't want to be there. She dragged him in there, kicking and screaming. Well, I turned to him and I said, what do you think the problem is? What's going on? He almost comes out of his chair as he says, she is trying to control my life. So I turned to Mom. I'm like, what the heck, Mom? You're trying to control his life? And she's like, no, heavens no. I got too many things on my plate as it is. I don't want to control his life. I want him to control his life. See, but his perception was that she was being all controlling. When the control and the maturity gets out of balance, we have conflict. And I tell the parents in our coaching programs, look, there are 3 feelings that will give you an indication that this is out of whack. Frustration, anger, and resentment. Any of those sound familiar? When we feel frustration, anger, and resentment, or when our kids feel frustration, anger, or resentment, it usually means that the balance is out of whack between the control and the maturity. I'm going to help you with that on Thursday. We're going to spend a full hour getting into the control and maturity model so that you can handle number 4. The 4th element of mastering parenting is effective discipline. Okay, so quick recap for you. The 4 elements that every parent needs to understand in order to master parenting. Number 1, take care of yourself. Spend your time, your money, and your energy taking care of you, because that's what puts you in position to do all the others. Okay? Element number 2, take care of the team. You focus on your core team at home for starters, your spouse if you're married. And moving out from there, your support team around parenting. Remember that saying, it takes a village to raise a child? I think it's really true. And remember, I'm on your team, okay? I'm working for you. Thank you for being here. Element number 3, love your kids. Your job is to love them no matter what, and even if. Element number 4, discipline. Effective discipline, which is about stage, not age. And I know we didn't get into that in detail today, but that's what the master class is for. Will you take the time to join us? On Thursday, we're only going to spend an hour. I'm going to answer some questions. I'll do some coaching. Here it is again, drpauljenkins.com/masterparenting. I will show up ready to roll. If you will be in the room, I promise you're going to come away with some ideas and tools that will help you to transform your family culture, to experience more peace at home, to have more confidence as a parent, and to have your kids listen without you yelling. Wouldn't that be nice? Thank you for joining me here live. Share this video with someone that you know could use it. And then get signed up. The link's in the description as well. drpauljenkins.com/masterparenting. Hope to see you again soon. Thanks for jumping in. We'll see ya. Bye-bye.